Wargamer 101 here, Bruce. I will be your tour guide for the day. This is episode 3 of our video after action report for Gary Grigsby's War in the East. This is the start of turn 31. So we will go through the map and show you what the situation is after 10 turns from the last video and the start of mud. So as we can see on the weather zones here, blizzard, 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 worst winter in Russian history, just so happened to coincide with the invasion by the Germans. So the Russians used this because they were ready for the cold and the Germans weren't. And started their counterattack and their counteroffensive up and down the line. So let's go through this and give you an idea of what's going on and how scary it is. All right, up here in Finland and on the northern border of the map here, nothing happened. Nothing. Occasionally the Russians will attack, but the Finns just sit there and take it. So, all right. Now, doing yeoman service is 23rd Army Corps holding these two spots against these rather strong units here that are along the shoreline, wanting to have a flank on me, or on the Germans, I should say. They're holding this hill, but we're holding this rough terrain here. So, as you scroll down, you can see that I've got an almost full line, and I occasionally try and counterattack to keep them from pushing through. But where it gets dangerous is right here south of Lake Ilmen, which is right here, which is completely iced over, and Novgorod in the Valdai Hills, which are right here. And you can see the Russians are definitely pushing, and I do not have enough troops to have a solid line there. It's a very dangerous situation. Whenever I get infantry reinforcements, I've been sending them this way to try and stem the tide, so to speak. But I think it's going to get a lot uglier before it gets better. All right, so then we come down here south of the Valdai Hills and Velikai Luki, and you can see that this is 16th Army. The 16th Army is holding this line a little bit, but because this flank up here is not as strong, they are probably going to have to retreat some eventually. Now, here is Army Group Center's 9th Army holding nicely along with the aid of 2nd Army, which is really just this one corps, this corps of the 35th Corps. They are holding this reserve, basically. This is reserve, and we're holding it. Now, we do have these. We have a Latvian SS motorized brigade and 2 panzer divisions, and I put them in front of, or 2 hexes in front of reserve. Here's reserve right here, but they're behind a river. You really can't tell because of the snow and the blizzard, but they're holding. The rest of the army is holding down here, but I have a feeling we might have to retreat eventually there too. As you can see, occasionally back here, you see these little guys here, these brown guys. These are partisans doing their partisan thing. And you can see they've popped up pretty much everywhere. So I have to take my security units and go track them down and kill them. All right, so, and as you can see, after mud, there was a frost. And during that frost, I tried to move forward just a little bit more and make my line a little bit better, but um, it I couldn't get any closer to Moscow. So I'm 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, about 70 miles as a crow flies from the outskirts of Moscow. And if I remember right, I think the Germans got maybe 50 miles, 40 miles to Moscow. So there you go. Fairly historic. All right, so then we come down the line here, and we have Second Panzer Army holding this stretch, and you can see they're burping through here. But what I'm doing is I'm combining a lot of these units to make them retreat and keep them from busting through. And Second Panzer goes down to here, and this is Third Panzer Army. It is holding Bryansk. Now you can see that they're scooching around trying to cut me off, but these units are weaker than these units up here to the north, just on a line here with Kaluga. So um, these these guys, I don't think they're going to take Bryansk. I think I can hold it. All right, next down on the line. This is the most porous region right now, or other than the one up there on the north. This is the one I'm the most worried about. This is Army 4th Army from Army Group Center. As you can see, he's already kicked me out. He's about he's going to kick me out of Chernigov, and he's pushing across the river here. Look at that. I mean, he's got a lot of troops here, and I'm basically trying to hold the line. And when I get reinforcements, I send them here too. So the line south of Novgorod in the Valdai Hills gets reinforcements. Here at Chernigov and north, they gets reinforcements. But also, because these guys are pushing around in the north face of Kiev, I'm going to have to send some reinforcements here eventually too, because they're going to bust over the river sometime. All right, next. What I did was, all here, I noticed that these units in here were a little bit weaker, a couple of, in between after mud ended and this turn, I have been basically with 17th Army. I've pushed across the Dnieper River just to give them something to think about and to try and kill Russians. All right. Down here, the Romanians are holding, and he's really pushing me hard here in the Dnieper River bend at Dnepropetrovsk and Zaporozhye. And I'm having a feeling I might have to retreat here because if you can see, just look at all the units, and he's going to try to cut me off. And the one thing I cannot afford to do is lose any armor at all. I just can't handle it. Okay, so here are the Italians and the rest of the Romanians, and they are holding this south bend. And well, I don't know. they're they're definitely stressed. I've already got some remnants here that are needing to be re resupplied and rebuilt, and I've got them on refit mode. So I've got like 1, 2, 3. I've got already 3. So um, this is going to get a lot worse than it gets better. Now come down here. All right, the next factor is the railroads. Now, the one good thing is about this situation is my railroad supply is actually in pretty good shape. Let me scoot out one level here. As you can see, from Germany and from Hungary and from Romania, there's not much left to convert. This little section down here, which doesn't really go anywhere. Of course, some middle sections here to increase connectivity. Um, and this is a Krivoy Rogue, ROG, probably ROG. It is, it's got full uh, supply from the railroad, and it's this section here and everything up to the bend that needs to be converted, but that's okay. If we come up here, we notice I'm really close to having my connection with Kiev, which is good. And it's just sort of this back area here, back behind Kiev and between the swamp and Kiev that hasn't been done. As you can see, the swamp is almost completed. It's pretty good. I've got a connection here coming up to Minsk and of course to Smolensk, but I definitely have to get this rail line over here to Bryansk done. I've got Smolensk all the way up to Rezev, and it's almost, it's good, strong there, and up to right over here for Novgorod doesn't have its rail line completed, but up to south of the Lake Ilmen, I'm okay. This railroad all the way over here to my valiant 23rd Corps holding the line. Um, so um, yeah, it's going to be, I don't know how many turns of this blizzard ice level 10 horrible weather is going to go on. Um, uh, I'm thinking it's going to go on for at least 7 or 8 turns, probably, considering it is only the 15th of January. So we're going to have to survive this massive Russian counterattack, um, and the partisans, and trying to get reinforcements to the front. And see, there's a reinforcement there. And no reinforcements coming from the Hungarians or the Romanians yet. So we're going to have to survive this. Look at this, that's 10, 20, that's 30-mile hole in the line right there. That's just don't have enough troops to hold everything. So we have to counterattack where we can and try to inflict some losses on the Russians. Now, if we go to our destroyed units, now you can see, okay, here was I think it was turn 19 that, or turn 18 maybe, that the mud started, because if you look here, I actually killed Soviet divisions on turn 17. So we had 1, 2, 3. We had 1, 2, 3. We had 4 turns of General Mud, and then we had the frost. Right. So I killed some more stuff there. And I killed some more stuff there. And there's a little bit more. And then all of a sudden, boom, winter. Okay, so that's turn 25. It's turn 31 now. So it's been 5 turns of Soviet counterattack. So if you look, I lost to SP Gun Company, didn't lose anything that turn. Lost another SP Gun Company, a rifle brigade, and an airborne brigade. No, that's Soviet. Okay, I just lost a SP Gun. But he lost 2 things. And then we come up to turn 29. We lost some Nebelwerfers. He lost some brigades. And then he lost some more stuff. And then we're back to turn 31. Haven't done it yet. So this isn't even the worst part of the winter. It's going to get worse. So if you like this after action report, press the like button. Subscribe if you want to. I would appreciate it. And I'll be back on turn 41 to show you the extent of the Russian counterattack. And it's going to be very, very ugly, I assure you. But as soon as the blizzards end and we get frozen ground, I should be able to start my cleanup and counterattacking to try and stem the tide. The biggest thing I think I need to do is make sure that in between the Valdai Hills and Rezev that he does not break through and hook around, because that's what happened historically. And the Russians had a big, huge, almost an encirclement of a whole bunch of Germans, and the Germans had to spend a lot of time cleaning up what the Rezev salient is what they called it. So hopefully that won't happen. We hope. So this has been Wargamer 101 Bruce. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the flip side.